The monsoon arrived gently that year, with clouds that didn't roar but wept quietly. The rains soaked the edges of the roof, bringing with it the smell of wet mud and old memories. Aakash had begun adjusting to the rhythms of domestic life more than he expected. He didn't think of it as pretending anymore. In some quiet way, the role of Sulochana had stopped being a disguise. It was now life. He found pleasure in simple feminine rituals, massaging oil into his scalp, clipping jasmine into his hair, lining his eyes with kajal, and adjusting his glass bangles before starting the day. He wore softer shades now, lavenders, light greens, faded pinks, each saree chosen with love, matching the tone of the day. One afternoon, while folding clothes, Aakash discovered an old box tucked away in the back of the wardrobe. Inside were Sulochana's little treasures, a few silver anklets, bindis of all sizes, fragrant rose atars, and a delicate gold necklace with a worn heart-shaped locket. He held the necklace in his hand for a long time before clasping it around his own neck. It rested against his chest like it belonged there. His father had begun relying on him more, emotionally, physically, and silently. He would often sit for hours watching Aakash sweep the courtyard or hang clothes. In those quiet moments, it was clear how deeply he was bonded to the presence of his wife. One day, Aakash found a note tucked under his pillow. It was his father's handwriting. "I don't know how you've come back to me, but thank you for not leaving." Aakash stared at the note for a long time and cried. Physical closeness came slowly, not out of desire, but necessity. Sometimes Aakash would help his father bathe, just like Ma used to, carefully scrubbing his back, drying his limbs, helping him dress. His hands were steady, gentle, dutiful. Once, while buttoning his kurta, his father caught his wrist gently. "Your hands are softer than I remember," he whispered. Aakash looked away. "Maybe I've become softer." His father smiled. "You've become even more beautiful." That night, Aakash undid his blouse in front of the mirror. The necklace still hung from his neck, glinting faintly in the yellow light. He slid into a soft nightgown, one his mother used to wear, with delicate floral lace at the neck. It hugged his frame differently than before, fitting more closely now, hugging curves that hadn't been there once. And he didn't feel like a boy pretending anymore. He felt like a woman claiming her space. One night, as lightning lit up the window, his father stirred in bed beside him and reached out, fingers resting lightly against Aakash's waist beneath the thin cotton sari. "Do you ever miss me?" he murmured, half asleep. Aakash, frozen for a moment, closed his eyes and whispered, "Always." The hand stayed there, resting gently. Comfort, not lust. Memory, not need. But intimacy had crossed its first line. The next morning, Aakash lit the lamp before the family altar. Dressed in a white sari with a thin gold border, sindoor on his hair parting, and anklets jingling faintly as he moved, he didn't feel like he was playing Sulochana. He had become her, not just for his father, but for himself. What happens next? The final chapter of Wife of the House is almost here. Aakash's journey into femininity has moved from duty to desire, from imitation to identity. As he continues living as his mother in his father's eyes, a quiet, tender love blooms in the most unexpected places. But can a bond built on illusion become something real? Can a soul who stepped into womanhood for someone else stay there for herself? Witness the final transformation. Feel the depth of love, longing, and acceptance, and discover what happens when pretending becomes truth. Part 4 drops soon. Stay ready for the most emotional chapter yet. Wooden spoon.